Have you ever found yourself doom scrolling and you come across a feed where all of the comments are like the following? All hope is lost, democracy is dead, what's the point? And after looking at that stuff, rather than feeling activated or mobilized, you just feel kind of numb. Like your brain is loud and your chest is tight, and yet you end up doing nothing. If you've been dealing with this kind of burnout, or you've been doom scrolling a lot, or you've just been feeling quietly hopeless about the state of the world, I want you to hear this. That kind of hopelessness content may masquerade as realism, but it produces zero outcomes. And falling for it doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that the content that you're consuming is training your brain in the direction of a freeze response. And today in this video, I'm going to tell you what to do instead. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cronise McLaughlin. I'm a lifelong activist, a former Wall Street and human rights lawyer, and for the last 15 years, I've been working with people who know they're here to make a big difference and to change the world for the better. Before we go any further, if you're struggling with how to make a difference in this era, I want you to go click on the link below to watch our free masterclass on how to stop guessing how to make a difference. It will guide you through the next steps you need to get out of the doom scrolling cycle and to move into creating change where you live and for people who are under threat. The link to get that free masterclass is below. So in this video, I'm going to give you a simple structure, 3 basic rules to get you out of your despair loop and into taking action. They go like this: stabilize, specify, and activate. Okay, let's take a breath, because I want to talk about why we're seeing so much of that all hope is lost content and what it actually really does to us when we read it. The idea, frankly, that all hope is lost creates a kind of emotional certainty that we're all really lacking as we live under a fascist regime. If the conclusion is we're doomed, well, that's a really easy out, isn't it? It puts all of us in a position where we don't actually have to take responsibility for trying to change anything. And more than that, we don't actually have to take any risks in trying to make the world better. We don't have to risk being disappointed, because what's the point? We don't have to risk caring about other people and maybe experiencing loss, which is incredibly painful and difficult. And we don't have to actually stretch ourselves to try to do things differently to make the world better. So hopelessness, that kind of all hope is lost content, it feels like realism, right? We're facing down some awful things in this country and around the world at the hands of this regime. And saying all hope is lost can feel like telling the truth. But under the hood, it's actually doing 2 things. The first thing it's doing is actually complicity with fascism, because it's telling you that there is no point in trying to fight back. And the second thing that it does is it takes away any motivation to try to take just one next step toward making things better. And when your brain can't find a next step, and you're living through incredibly traumatic things, as we all are at this moment, your mind will do something very predictable as a trauma response. It will freeze like a deer in the headlights, uncertain of where to go, and certainly not in motion. And then what do? You scroll more, you consume more, maybe you frame it as quote unquote staying informed. But I'm here to tell you that feeling more is not the same as doing more. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense, but I'm really not sure what to do next, I want to remind you that you can go download our free masterclass on how to stop guessing how to make a difference at the link below. This is one of the things that we teach inside the Ripple Effect Institute: how to stop guessing how to make a difference and what to do instead, so that you have a practical pathway out of the despair loop and toward actually making things better. Go watch that free masterclass as soon as you're done with this video. Okay, so I have 40 years under my belt as an activist and 15 years training leaders who want to make a generational level change right now in how to do that. I've worked with thousands of successful professionals and community leaders and nonprofit organizers over that time, people who want to create real change instead of just feeling devastated by the news. And what I've seen again and again is this: people don't burn out because they care too much. They burn out because they're trying to care without any structure on how to take action. So now let's get to those 3 rules I mentioned earlier that will effectively get you out of your doom loop. As a reminder, they are stabilize, specify, and activate. Yes, activate. That's the new 3rd word. And note here that we're not talking about creating content or arguing with strangers on social media. We're actually talking about taking action. So let's walk through these 3 steps, like I'm coaching you one-on-one on how to get out of your doom loop and actually move into taking action. First, and this is really important, we have to stabilize our central nervous systems. And that means controlling what we consume. Now, I want to make this really clear. This is not about ignoring reality. This is about refusing to let social media algorithms hijack your central nervous system. Because as a reminder, social media platforms are not optimizing for justice or social change. They are optimizing for attention that drives profit. And the thing that garners the most attention is terrible news, things that make you outraged, things that make you feel hopeless. Doom scrolling works in favor of those social media platforms because it creates addiction to negative content. The easiest way to keep your attention is with fear and outrage and hopelessness. So stabilizing your central nervous system in this way, it can actually be quite simple, but it does require a degree of personal discipline. Here's what we recommend inside the Ripple Effect Institute. Choose 1 to 2 reliable sources that you are going to check once or twice a day. For me, this means that after I get up in the morning and I have my first cup of tea, I go and look at a couple of reliable media sources to see what's happened overnight. And do I then spend the next 2 hours doom scrolling all the horrible content that has been created overnight? Absolutely not. And then, if I happen to be looking at those 1 to 2 trusted sources on a social media platform, before I click on anything else, I ask myself a very basic question. Will continuing to click on these things help me decide on the next best action? And I can guarantee you that's kind of a magical question, because the chances are very solid that there is nothing that you are going to see after you have checked those 1 to 2 trusted news sources that is going to further inform you about what you need to do next. So if you ask yourself that question and the answer is no, you have a very simple next step. Close the app. And it's important to recognize that you're not closing the app because you don't care. You're closing the app because you need to do it in order to stay useful. And here, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what would it feel like to get your central nervous system back? To stop waking up in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, braced for impact on the latest horrible news? What would it feel like to actually be able to pause and breathe and decide how you're going to take action to make things better? Because I can guarantee you, if you actually do that, you ask yourself these questions quite seriously, you will immediately have the sense of your central nervous system letting go. All of us need relief from these algorithms, but especially those of us who know that we're here to make a difference. Now let's move on to the second step, specify. So this is where a lot of good people get stuck, because it's very easy in this era to care about everything. There's so much bad news and so many impacted communities and so much harm going on that it can be really tough to decide what the next best step is. And this is particularly true, by the way, for experienced high-achieving professionals who are used to managing a lot of things at once. Choosing just one lane to take action can sometimes actually feel like betrayal. But focusing down on how to make an impact is not betrayal. Focus is, in fact, sometimes the only way that we can actually make a real tangible difference in the face of what we're dealing with. So here's what specify means in really concrete terms. It means to pick one lane where you're going to make a difference for the next 90 days. Not forever, not as your whole identity, just long enough to build momentum and create a real impact. And the specificity with which you articulate this really does matter. So instead of saying, I care about democracy, you say, I'm focusing on voter protection work in my community for the next 90 days. Instead of, I care about housing justice, you choose, I'm going to focus on working with tenant unions to build tenant defense in my city for the next 90 days. Instead of saying, like I see a lot of well-meaning people say on social media, I'm an LGBTQ ally, you choose instead the following. I'm focusing on trans safety and support by volunteering at this local organization for the next 3 months. And then, and this is really important, consider a role that matches your skills. And if you're somebody who's built a career or raised a family, you already have skills to leverage. Maybe it's project management or managing a calendar for an organization. Maybe it's handling emails. Maybe it's finance or legal or marketing or communications. When you aim the skills you already have at your one clear lane, you stop feeling like you're just consuming crisis and you actually start building capacity. And I'll just say something here for all the empathic people who watch this channel and who care about the state of the world. Vague compassion and the constant consumption of bad news will drain you like nothing else. Specific commitment, on the other hand, will mobilize you and energize you in ways that you can't imagine. Specific commitment is what creates real change. Now, our third step. Activate. Activation means that you turn your focus into real-world action this week. Yes, this week. And this means choosing one thing that creates real traction. Because, reminder, hope doesn't come just from thinking hopeful thoughts. As the great activist and organizer Mariam Kaba says, hope is a practice. And that means that you actually have to practice it. And hope comes in part from evidence that things can change, that things are changing, that you can be a part of that. And evidence, it comes from action that touches the real world beyond your screen and beyond your social media apps. So activating can look like this: booking one volunteer shift that you actually show up for, scheduling 3 calls with local organizations to say, where are you stuck and can I help you with the skill set that I have? It can look like hosting one small gathering in your living room, maybe of 3 to 5 neighbors, to talk about an issue that's impacting your local community and how you might get involved to help. Or, because we all know that movements don't run on vibes alone, it can look like setting up a recurring monthly donation to an organization doing really great work in your own community. And I want you to notice what all of these examples have in common. They're concrete, they're small enough to do easily, and they create momentum. Because here's a little secret. Despair thrives in isolation, and it lives in abstraction. Action creates a better reality. Let me slow this down for a second and just say something really important here. You do not need to carry the whole world on your back right now to make a difference. You just need to choose a lane, take an action, and stay in the work long enough so that your impact compounds. This is exactly how people go from hopeless and frustrated to leading real initiatives that save and protect lives, advocacy campaigns, community organizations, even full-blown nonprofits. It's by choosing a focus, taking the next best step, and staying committed and in the work. Now, I want to say one more thing because I know that there is a very common pushback in this era when I suggest stepping away from social media and re-regulating your central nervous system. A lot of folks have the response that it feels irresponsible to not consume all of the information because how else am I going to know all the horrible things that are going on? It is important to know what's going on and particularly to understand how marginalized people are being harmed and impacted. But constant exposure to catastrophe is not a plan for change. And I want to remind you that if your information diet is leaving you hopeless, there is one simple question that you can ask to get out of that. Does this give me a real pathway to action? If it doesn't, it's not helping you or anyone else to create change. In fact, what it's doing, and quite intentionally, is keeping you stuck, isolated, and hopeless. So here's your really practical reset for the next 7 days. Stabilize your inputs, specify your lane, and activate your next best move. And if you want help figuring out your lane and what your next best move might be, go watch our free masterclass, How to Stop Guessing How to Make a Difference, at the link below. It will help you figure out exactly what to do next to break your cycle of despair and take real action for change. Because I'll tell you something about the times that we're living in. The world doesn't need you perfectly informed but totally frozen. It needs you focused, activated, and effective in creating change. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.